10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all so very much for being here tonight. You know how excited I always get for these things because I get to see all you great people, and we like to communicate what's going on. Next month is November, which is Veterans Month. So before we start anything else, I'd like to ask every veteran here to stand so that we can thank you tonight. Poster, you're one. Amazing. Thank you all so much for your sacrifice. And now I'm going to ask one of our veterans, Bill Ombre, to come, he's an Air Force veteran, to come and lead us in the pledge to the American flag. And I'm sure all you veterans remember that one. Now the Texas one comes next, so get ready for that.
And I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance.
No, honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas,
one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Some of y'all still haven't learned that, and that's okay. We love you anyway. Somebody suggested that the other night. I think that's called treason. Oh, okay. Y'all, how many of you all got some of our baseball cards for county government? I had a lot of these. I don't know if I have enough for everybody now. We have the extras back at that table. This is like baseball cards, but it's about county government. Who does what in county government? And I thought it might be helpful for y'all. If we run out, let me know. I can get more, and we'd be happy to get them to you. I'd like to give you all kind of a heads up. We're probably going to have a long evening tonight. You can see how many people are here. And I can tell you that John has a lot of projects to report on for us from Precinct 4. And we've got the mayors and city managers from our surrounding communities who have some exciting things to share with us as well. Plus, we've got Tina Massey, who is the head of engineering for our county, who does a fabulous job. So, my point being, if you have to be in bed by 7:30, it's okay if you leave before we're done. Otherwise, feel free to stay. And I don't think we've got a time limit on the room. We'll be here as long as you all have questions. Okay? So, with that, why don't we get going? This is mine, John, sorry. This is Precinct 4. You can see, and by the way, one of my opponents is here tonight, David Wiley. So David, I hope you learn a lot. These are the communities here in Precinct 4, and as you can see, they spread out all over. We've got lots of good people in Precinct 4, and I'm so proud to represent every one of them. Let's talk about growth in Precinct 4. Y'all know we're growing, right? 90 people a day come into Denton County. Most of them, I think, into Precinct 4. Actually, North Texas itself is growing at a tremendous rate. We have about 8 million people in 13 counties and about 150 cities covering 9,000 square miles. That's North Texas. They think we're going to more than double population by 2050. So if you think it's bad now, just wait another 25 years. Right now, we are home to more than 1 million people. Texas has more than 31 million, almost 32 million people. Projected population expected to pass 45 million by 2040. Everybody wants to come to Texas. We're a great state to live, work, and play, and our taxes are so much better than most of the other states. Actually, in the DFW area, the population here is more than at least 40 other full states. So we're the big boys. And we have right now, I got the stat today from our development director, we have 34,000 new rooftops, either planned or currently under construction in unincorporated Denton County. Most of them right here in Precinct 4. So there's more people coming. I have noticed they bring their cars, they bring their kids, sometimes they bring their in-laws, but mostly they don't bring their roads. So we have a challenge, a very big challenge to try to keep up with that. And I'm counting on my friend John, who's a transportation consultant extraordinaire hired by Denton County and other municipalities to make sure that what we want to do, we have the money to do. So, John, it's all yours for now.
If you've been to one of these, you know there's going to be commercials every so often with the city, so that's what she means for now. So there is some new information, so pay attention. There's going to be a test afterwards. So this is the southern portion between Roanoke and 1171. It's called the Creek section. We have it environmentally cleared, and we are now entering into a contract with Jacobs Engineering for the PS&E. PS&E is the Plan Specifications and Estimate. It's the document that the state needs in order to let the project out for construction. There isn't any additional right-of-way needed because most of this area is a Corps of Engineers easement, so we're staying within the existing easement, and so the utilities aren't out there because it's a corridor. So once we get the PS&E done, this project is essentially ready to let.
Tell them about environmental clearance, why that's important.
Okay. 3/4 of this road's going through a core easement. So every time we do a project for the state, we have to do an environmental clearance document. We have to worry about the riparian habitat, the snail darters, the vultures, the carrion, the whatever, all that good stuff. And we have to mitigate any impacts we have. But the good news about this project is because we were crossing the core, we stayed within the core's easement. And so the impacts to the environment are minimal, but you'll have one long bridge structure across that easement, and there'll be no development. It'll just be straight through till dawn, like in Peter Pan. Next. Okay, good news on Argyle. $172 million project. I know some of you have heard this before. Back in COVID days, the county gave the region $30 million of the regional toll revenue funds, and they asked, what do you want in return? We didn't say we wanted $60 million to build the 377 Argyle section. We said we want the Argyle section built. Back then, we had $30 million on it. It was a $60 million delta because it was a $90 million job. By the time we got to when it was ready to go to construction, the cost went up to $172 million. The state was still on the hook for it. We gave them $30 million. We got 172. Commissioner Edmondson and the judge went to TxDOT and said, listen, we need this project. It's been funded for 2 years. We're ready to let. We need to put into the TxDOT's letting cycle. And they came back about 2 weeks ago and said they've slotted it for May of 2026. So that is a project that's going to go to construction. There's early summer, late summer, and winter. Summer, sometime about early summer. So that's funded and it'll go into construction. I think there's a commercial now, right?
We have the Argyle town manager, Mike Sims, who's going to talk to us about some of the exciting things in our neighbor to the east.
Here's this one? Okay, awesome. Wonderful. So howdy, I'm Mike Sims. Everybody knows and loves Argyle. I always like to introduce Argyle by saying it's a town so great, they named the greatest independent school district in the state of Texas after it, right? So can I get some love for Argyle ISD? A little bit? Boy, God, don't be cranky. All right, so thank you. I'm going to flip through these slides real quick, and I don't know who's got a remote control. Our message in Argyle is always, while other towns and cities are bragging about how many people just moved there, we want to brag about canopy cover, adding trees, being scenic. We're still trying to make those things happen in Argyle, and we're proud of it. Next slide here tells you a little bit about our small area plan. A lot of you will think of the center of Argyle as being 377. As John just mentioned, we're going to be doing an upgrade to 377. That's wonderful. I have to pause there and say thank you to someone not in the room. That's Judge Eads. If you don't know, Judge Eads has been a leader in making these kinds of deals and these kind of roadway projects happen, so we really appreciate appreciate that very much. Couldn't do what the county does without the judge. The small area plan at the corner of 377 and 407 is really our idea of making a central place in Argyle. That's close to where Little Joe's is. There's some foresty areas there. That's our central place, and we're working on what you might call a downtown plan for that zone. The next slide is our 6 acres that we own. While some people are busy working on building roads, we're working on building a police building. We're very excited about that, and we think that we've got all the right team in place. We've got our architects and our engineers and all that sort of good stuff, and we're going to build us a wonderful new police building to house the Argyle Police Department. You'll see that coming soon. The next slide is the Argyle Nature Trail. This is right in that small area at the corner of 377 and 407 as well. We've got about 5 acres of land there. We've got a historic little group of cross timbers there with the post oaks and the blackjack oaks. Wonderful little refuge in the middle of town, and we're developing a nature trail out on that particular piece of property. The next slide is Argyle Marketplace. If you follow social media and you've been watching Argyle news, you may have heard, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to Little Joe's? We love Little Joe's, and we're going to help a project go in next to Little Joe's that's really going to manage to enhance what's going on in that whole district. And contrary to rumors out there, we're saving trees as we do it, and we're taking our access route around the backside of where Little Joe's is so that we don't have any impact to them. Little Joe's is on the north side of that. Look at that, I turned around, I changed slides. Can I go back to that one? Thanks. Argyle's Farmers Market is in the center of that tract of land. We're doing a great new 23,000 square foot of retail and restaurant development right at that location as well, and it's right next to the Argyle Nature Trail as well. So that's a really great step forward for us in making sort of a central downtown place for us. Okay, so the next slide is the small area plan that we're doing on a big area. We just signed an economic development agreement with a group to do a very large-scale 123-acre retail and hospital development basically right across the street from where we are right now. So this is that little corner of Argyle that's on the southwest corner of Robson and I-35. We call that the Argyle Heritage Tract. The Argyle Heritage Tract has enough room on it for several big boxes. There was the rumor mill about, oh, where's the HEB going to go? If it was going to go in Argyle, it would have been on this tract. Now it's going somewhere else. So that's what that piece of land is. And we now have a 30-year economic development agreement in place at that location. And we're doing some planning work to make sure we get the roads, water, sewer, and all that together in that location. The next slide, I think, is my last one. And we're thrilled that, to us, that's what a street should look like. So we're going to do our best with our local streets to make them look like that, and we're going to embrace it when TxDOT and the county build us the bigger roads, and that is my wrap-up. So, John, how'd I do? Great. Awesome. I think I got 5 minutes in. Thanks, guys. All right. Well, it's not in my jurisdiction, so I won't definitively say, but there'll be a neighbor to Argyle. How about that? There you go.
Thank you, Mike.
HEB's going right there at the corner of Robson Ranch and 35. That's that big development they're doing right there. Right? Did I get that right? I think so. Okay. I don't do grocery stores. Okay, so in all these projects that you see that we're working on, they've been generational, and every commissioner pretty much has their own stamp of approval on what they do. So Diane has been, she came in, she was very mean initially. She got nicer, but she wanted things happening. Argyle 377 is one, the 114 you will get to in a second, main lanes, the interchange at 377. She was very abusive on getting those things done in a timely manner. I'm afraid of all women. Y'all met my wife, right? Okay, so one of the things that we're coming back and doing, you know you've lived long enough in your career where you're going back and fixing stuff you did when you were a kid. So back in the 90s and early 2000s, we built 2499 and 407, and we didn't have a lot of money, so we didn't do the turn lanes. And Diane and Andy have been beating me like a rented mule, saying we got to get this project done. So we got TxDOT, we talked TxDOT into funding it, and it led in March of 25, and by December, you're going to have right turn, longer turn lanes in each direction, both the right turns to go whatever opposite direction you want to go, and the left turns, all 4 quadrants. And if you're driving over there, you see them doing that work now. And once that's done, there'll be a whole lot more traffic getting through those two cross streets.
Has anybody heard about a problem on 407?
Okay, so
Everybody hear that? 407, a little bit of a problem maybe?
don't stir them up. Okay, so we have a project we're going to talk about, and we got to get them in order better. So we have this big job where we're doing the frontage road projects on 35W from 407 to 2449. It's $213 million. We just met with the highway commissioner Monday week about trying to do another $600 million worth of work, and we're negotiating that right now. But the reason, what we tried to do early on was Argyle and Northlake came to the county in Texas and said, we got a problem here, we got to solve this thing now. And so that was back in 2022, mid-22. And they wanted it open by 2025, and there were some things that happened that we couldn't control, but we have it fully funded by the county at $40 million. The county's going to pay for it through the regional toll revenue funds. They're not taxes and they're not toll road money. It's something we'll talk about later someday, but it's our money. I'm going to write a book about it. And so we're ready to go, but we can't get into that TxDOT letting cycle till August of 2026. So Diane goes, that's unacceptable. I'm going to get hung in effigy, if not in reality, if we don't get something done. Next slide. So we talked to TxDOT, and because we have Tina Massey, former TxDOT area engineer, very smart lady, working for the county, we're going to come in as a county project. We're going to start in October. I think the bid documents are already in, and we're going to spend about $1.6 million to widen the bridge section to 5 lanes. So you'll have 2 lanes in each direction and a half left turn lane. And we're going to extend the right turn lane southbound on 407 back past the old Corral City thing. And then we're going to add additional turning movements from southbound to westbound to get the traffic through that area. And we're going to let that in October, and we should be done sometime around March.
4 months construction, but probably it's
I graduated from North Texas. You got to do the math. March. Okay. So that's something the county's spending their own money on because they're trying to solve the problems that are out here right now. We didn't cause the problems. We're trying to get ahead of it. We've been pushing this for years, but we're going to come in and try to solve it. And we call this our micro breakout because we have a breakout, and then we have the big job.
By the way, I think it's helpful to you that your commissioner lives right here in Robson, and I drive the same roads that you do every day. In fact, the other day, to get to Commissioner's Court, when I got to Crawford Road and 35W, I counted, and there were 40 cars waiting to get through. I would never have made it to the Commissioner's Court if I had not turned south, and I went down to 407 and could go back under and back up and got off on Crawford Road and then went on to court. But I mean, it's ridiculous. We realize that we're working on all kinds of traffic issues. So, John, do you want to talk to us about the Justin breakout?
Okay, so Lisa can vouch for this. 3 or 4 months ago, I started not being able to sleep very well. And I didn't know what it was. And then I told my staff, I need you to put together on a spreadsheet all the things that all the commissioners have asked ITS to make happen in the next few months. And I had about $30 million worth of road bond funds to do it, and the total was $78 million. So that's why I was freaked, because I didn't know I was going to come up with it.
We'll pass the plate shortly.
No, we figured it out. We figured it out. One of the things that was on that list that we just got resolved is working with Justin, who wants to move forward on that red section of the breakout. And you can't see it, but in that little swirly line in the bottom down there that says Section 1 is the first priority. So there's a bigger map This is a subset, and you can't build any of it without all of it, because that little yellow line on the bottom part, that's existing 407, and the big red line is going to be the future 407, so you got to build it all, because otherwise you just end up in a dead end. So we're anticipating in the next month or so getting an interlocal agreement with Justin to pay them to hire an engineering firm to begin the PS&E on it, because you'll note that we're going to be environmentally cleared in June of 2026. So this is the time to start on the design. They've I hope I'm not stomping on any of your.
Stomp.
Okay. They've volunteered to take the lead on it. We'll work with them on it. But this is a project we're going to do, which is going to be called the Justin Breakout, which is different than the Breakout, which is different than the Micro Breakout.
Hope you all love breakouts. And now we'd like to have our Justin Mayor, James Clark, come up and tell us a little bit about what's going on and why we need. I think we all know why we need it, but he has a special reason.
So I consider this more like a Super Bowl commercial. He's going to maybe almost like halftime. It may take longer than the 5 minutes. So Justin is growing. Everybody knows Justin is growing. Currently, we're showing about almost 8,000 citizens. We think there's actually 9,200 in the city limits of Justin, Texas. I keep watching these numbers, talking about by 2030 we're close to 17,000. I know that this year we issued 750 building permits to date. That's almost 300% normal. We're expecting probably closer to 40,000 people, if not more, coming to Justin, Texas. It says we have 3,356 rooftops. It's really 4,002. 65,000 rooftops have the city of Justin's address. So 76247, everyone is from Justin, and I'm good with that. But our 4,000 rooftops pay our taxes, and so we're on pace to be $14,000-15,000 here in the next 4 years. Our fire station number 2 is scheduled to open in the fall. They're moving right along. We passed a bond to that. And bonds matter. People hate to pay them. They hate to pass them. And it's always a struggle. And if you're the mayor when a bond is passed, then you're evil. I can tell you what people don't understand is our ISO rating, which the cities are rated, have 2 numbers that make up your ISO rating. Our ISO rating in the fall when this opens is expected to drop to a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. That means although this is costing our citizens about 14 cents for a $300,000 home, $14 a month for a $300,000 home, they're going to save $250 a month in homeowners insurance. They don't ever talk about that, but that's what the ISO ratings are good for. We currently have another bond election going on right now as we speak to update our city hall. And, like many modern mayors, we really take a look at the future, what these buildings hold. So if y'all been to Justin City Hall, the school was built the architect was 1958. The school was built in 1962, 1963. It was first inhabited in 1964, and right now it's a mess. The school rooms were 10 people, 10 students back then. Now, we're splitting rooms. We have multiple offices. We don't pass ADA compliance. We're not fire compliant. And we attempted to pass a bond a few years ago to build a new city hall. Guess what? The citizens weren't ready. So we're actually going to take our building we are in now, and we're going to, if it passes, we're going to rebuild it. We're make it taller. We're going to completely strip our gym off, reskin it, make it a big flex space, move the dais in there. We're going to add another gym to this thing. And if you'll think about everything I'm saying, what I'm really building is a community center that we're going to reside in for the next 10 to 15 years. But you need to think forward. So what is this building for? It's being built to be our community center. It's the pulse of our old downtown Justin, Texas. And so by building it to be a great community center, but a building that can house City Hall in the meantime, makes a ton of sense. And I wish I could explain that more clearly to our citizens, but it sounds like I'm trying to sell them on the thing, which is illegal when I'm in Justin. So we have an Old Town Steering Committee. When I first ran for council, I told you the Super Bowl commercial. When I first ran for council, I said I wanted Old Town to be from 1st Street to 12th Street, from 156 to Ludi. And I continue that chant. So we recently, in the last 9 months, did a moratorium on all demolition in Old Town with those parameters. And so you can't tear a building down. You can't tear an old home down. You can't do anything right now. We have a steering committee that yesterday toured multiple old towns and talked to their city managers about why they did what they did, how they did what they did they didn't like, and what they did that they did like. And they bring that back here in probably December. We should have a finalized new kind of a plan for Old Town, if you would, including facades and types of buildings, what homes can look like, incentive plans for people to bring in old homes into Old Town, you know, and stuff along those lines. We don't want things built on grade, everything is big front porch, those kinds of things. So that'll come in. We'll probably approve that come January. We have some amazing new restaurants coming to town, Grapes to Wine. I don't know if you all know about Grapes to Wine. They used to be in
Bartonville.
next to near the Bartonville store, actually. And so they're coming. They're set to open up here in a couple of weeks. It's wine and bourbon. It's Grapes to Wine plus. The plus is the bourbon. And you'll be able to order from all the local restaurants and eat it there, basically, is their plan. So it should be pretty exciting. We also have opened a new Vietnamese pho place. If you haven't eaten there yet, it's Chinese, Japanese, and Vietnamese. The food's amazing. The wait's still 30 minutes or so. We've opened up a new pet clinic where you can go wash your pets either for yourself or someone can do it. They provide all the supplies. Makawa Coffee, the Academy, 1911 Beef. I mean, we continue to bring business in. I just found out today a lease has been signed in Justin Town Center, which is behind the AutoZone. For a new really good restaurant. It's going from breakfast until dinner with coffee and pie at 11 o'clock, which is kind of my thing. But they're coming from Dallas. Their grandkids moved out here, so they're following their family. It's been a very successful down there for, I think they said 30 or 40 years, and now they're moving to our town. So we're going strong. I know I'm getting ready to wrap. I want to just say one thing. I heard they held an event called 407 Matters. Some of y'all may have heard of that. I say all roads matter. I need 1171, I need Strader, and I need 407. And I've been working diligently with our commissioner for years. And I can tell you, the relationship between a mayor and their commissioner is incredibly important. And I need a commissioner that listens to what I need, what our citizens need, what we really, truly want now versus later. And I went to Miss Edmondson. I know I didn't tell you to do this. I went to Miss Edmondson, and I said, hey, I know you're doing Strader Road. What do you think about doing a flyover? Because the trains are blocking us and locking us in, and we need more routes to escape. And she said, well, I mean, maybe you can do that. And I didn't know that she really heard me. 3 weeks later, she called me and says, okay, the flyover is going to happen. They're engineering it. This is great. Wow, that's awesome. And then 3 weeks later, comes by and she calls me and says, Mayor Clark, I'm sorry. That's a $50 million proposal. This may not happen. I was like, I understand. Thank you for thinking about it. Thank you for hearing my little dumb country butt out, you know. But then she calls me later and says, hey, some federal funding is wrapped up. We're going to be able to fund this after all. And so it'll be a great separation, meaning a bridge. So I'm getting 407. We're getting it broke out for Justin. Again, working back and forth, getting interlocal agreements signed. And Mr. Polster mentioned, you know, he's stepping on me a little bit. He's not. On November 13th at City Council, we intend to pass, if everyone votes the way I hope they vote, the interlocal agreement and get it back to you. And so we will be able to then, we already have a contract in front of us to hire Westwood to engineer this road, to get this thing moving along way faster than it was going to be by us taking it on. And so I could keep talking, I won't. I appreciate it. Super Bowl, right? Super Bowl commercial. Thank you, guys.
No wardrobe malfunctions in your commercial, right?
What was that?
No wardrobe malfunctions. I'm used to Super Bowl.
Wardrobe. Thank God.
Okay, back to your previously programming. So we're working on the big 407 all the way from 1830 out to west of Justin. The red part is the part we just talked about pulling out. We are continuing the environmental clearance on the rest of it. You can see the little arrows. Our intent is to build from Justin back to 1830, and the reason we're doing that is because the people east, I had to do the thing, east of 35 have asked us to put them last because they don't want the road improved. So as a compromise, we're going to do them last. But we're cleared in June. The breakout will start with by the end of the year with Justin taking over that, and we are going to be pushing this project section at a time. Okay, this is one of the ones that Diane was hurtful early on to me on. So $107 million, we got this thing funded, it was under construction, and then not only that, she makes me drive out there, endanger my life to take pictures for her. So all those newsletters come thankful to me going out there with a safety vest on. But that project is going to be fully completed in March of 2026, but probably January, February, it's going to be what's called substantially complete, which means it's done for the traveling public, but they're still working on the sides, doing various other things. Okay, the Strader. So there's a lot about Strader, Robson Ranch, whatever you want.
Everybody know where Strader is? Because some people don't. Okay, as long as you know, so you know what you're talking about.
So your legislature, pretty much every time they meet, they find better ways of screwing you. But one of the things they did right, that's my opinion, not Diane's, is they put a significant amount of money in grade separation funding for off-system roadways. Strader's off-system, it's not a state road. So what we were intending to do a year ago when we started working on this, now there's an actual real funding category that we can go after, and we're going to be one of the first ones in the hopper to push for this project because we're already that far along in our process. So what was a hope, desire, and dream between the mayor and the commissioner a year ago, year and a half ago, now because we started is more of a reality. We are working towards June 2027 environmental clearance. I know that sounds like a long time, but you've heard me say it. If we didn't have to worry about your property rights, involving you in the process or the environment, we could move faster. And I've been advocating that for 32 years, but no one will take me up on it. So by June, we'll have it cleared, and we're ahead of the curve on all of these applications, and we're going to be chasing that money for that grade separation.
Thank you, John. One thing that I think is important is, no, you're the sponsor. Okay. Anyway, I think it's really important for us to know that Strader is going to be the east-west road of choice from 156 to 35. And so it's really important for us to get that done. There are people who don't want that because they know what's going to happen, more traffic. But we have to let these people have the right-of-way, et cetera. So now we're going to hear from Northlake, and we have our Mayor Pro Tem to tell us about that, Marilyn Loren.
Meryl Lorenz.
Loren,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank you
Meryl.
so much for having me tonight. I appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you for all that you've done because we are your neighbor right across from Robson Ranch. So I also drive these streets all the time. So you have been incredible in helping us get these roads and signals and everything. We really appreciate it. So thank you. We're very lucky to have you. So Northlake is all the way up here, but we also have borders down off 114 and 35. So we're very, very stretched out. And that gives you an idea of some of the things that cover our areas. So all the way from the Ridge and Pecan Square, all the way down to 114 by the Speedway, and on the east side of 35 as well. Some of our roads, I'm just going to go over some of the road updates and then our business updates as well. Fott Road, I'm sure you're familiar with Fott Road. It's a little bumpy right now. But they are working on widening it, and we're doing half of it. Once that is complete, we will start the other half all the way to 407. This way half has been started first. So the first section has been from Robson Ranch to about Old Justin is what has been started. Once that's complete, the other half will get we'll get started. So that'll be full widening. You can see some of the trees have been taken out. They're widening it. It should be a lot easier. It won't be a bumpy roadway as you're driving it. Also, Mulkey Road is on the opposite side of Pecan Square, so closer down by 1171. It runs on the backside there. Right now, there's a gap that it's still dirt road in between the two paved roads, so we're working on completing that. That'll be done soon, really soon. And then Florence as well. That'll be late 2026, where they can complete reconstruction and widening as well for that. We have a lot of new businesses coming to Northlake. I'm sure you've seen right across the street here, right out your driveway. Some of those new businesses there are the Grapevine Golf Cars, which I know has been very popular with this area. And then Ranch Nail Spa just opened up there. We just had the opening today for Pigtails and Crew Cuts. That's in our common areas. We also have the Argyle Open that just opened in Northlake Commons. That one is off of 407 if you're not familiar with that. It's amazing now that you can just take Cleveland Gibbs, or Cleveland Gibbs, Gibbs is not Cleveland Gibbs anymore, Gibbs, all the way down and hit the Northlake Commons there. We're so much more connected as a community now. Other ones that are opening in Pecan Square on the corner of 407 and Gibbs will be the CVS pharmacy, so that'll be really convenient for people to have something a little bit closer instead of having to drive over to Argyle right now for CVS. Okay. And then other ones that have come in, Branded Bagels is in Northlake Commons, Dumont Creamery. Like I mentioned, the Argyle Open, that is a really awesome restaurant. I've been to it. The food is great, and they have golf simulators, so you can bring your golf clubs. They have all kinds of other simulators that you can use there as well. Crave Cookie is coming in, and some of our hotels. Now, all these hotels, they're down by our 114 area, so that's where you're going to see those coming in with the other hotels. And this one, we just had our strategic planning session here at the Cambria Hotel and Conference Center. It's not quite open yet. They're doing their grand opening actually on tomorrow. No, Friday. Friday they're doing their grand opening for everyone to see. But this is a conference center. It's 10,000 square feet. And so it's a beautiful hotel. We toured it. We're very excited to have this hotel and conference center at 114 that we can use as a town. So I encourage everyone to take a look at that. If you're not familiar with it, there's a 7-Eleven right there, public storage. That's where that's situated on 114. And this one is probably the one that we are most excited about in Northlake. It's our Dallas Stars multi-sport centers. We are going to have, and this is also 114 area, just right by Chadwick Barbs. We're going to have 2 ice sheets, so hockey, figure skating, hard courts for basketball, volleyball, so 16 volleyball courts, 9 outdoor pickleball courts. We're also going to have a restaurant in the facility, and then sports medicine, the Children's Health Andrews Institute will be in the facility, and that's hoping to open around summer of 2026, which is perfect completion time for 114, kind of wrapping everything up. So that area down there is going to look a lot different than it does right now, and we're excited about that because Northlake in this area really is a place for family, a place for kids, a place for students, and a ton of athletics happen, so we're excited to have a place for that to take place.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We appreciate it. Did we
You're
cover?
welcome.
I think John's up next, but thank you so much. I think all this is very exciting. I hope you all are hearing about all kinds of new places to go eat and play pickleball and that kind of thing. So thank you, mayors and Mayor Pro Tem. Now, John, you're up.
Okay, so this is a subset of the Straighter Road project that I showed you earlier, where we're doing some stuff early on just as a county improvements, because the previous one we were talking about, we're actually federally clearing it with environmental clearance so we can get funding from the state and the feds. So you saw the signal go up at Gibbs and Robson Ranch. We are now coming back, just saw the plans, and we are going to do some more turning movements because we want to get the signal up and get it running, but we're going to come back and we're going to add some turning movements and get the throughput through that signal where it's less conflicted. So you'll have all your turning movements separated for their own little lanes. And so we're working on that. I think we just got the plan set. We are or will be letting Robson Ranch folks know. Met yesterday because we got to take some of that grass out there to do the turn lane. So that's coming in second behind the signal. We are coming in. We still have the signal at Landmark and the HEB signal that we're working with the City of Denton on, and we're fixing to start on the construction of that soon, like a month or so. So you'll see improvements there. And it's not on the, I don't think it's on the map yet, but part of the 35W Frontage Road project, apparently there's some people that are working for TxDOT. The engineering firm's called WSP, or is this Stantec? Stantec. They live out here. So they're working for TxDOT, and they said, hey, we're going to donate plans to put signals at all four sides of the intersection now because it sucks. That was their technical term. I didn't say that. That was their term. So they donated the plans. They're warning it. And so once we get that settled, City of Denton has already agreed to submit a letter because the city has to maintain the signals, that they'll be willing to maintain the signals. So we're going to try to advance those signals at Robson Ranch and 35W in advance of that big project that we were talking to you about earlier because we can. So there's going to be a lot going on in the next 12 months in this area. And Diane came to us early on and said, I won't survive if we don't get this stuff done, so you won't survive, John. So we're working on it.
Thank you, John. And he's right. I mean, I live out here. I go through everything that y'all go through. I exited on Orangewood normally, and oh my gosh, we'd wait and wait and wait. Now, you've got the traffic signal. What do you all think? Do you like it? Are you glad we've got it? Okay. One thing I do have to remind you, red means stop. Whichever direction you're coming from, red means stop. And apparently that isn't clear in everyone's mind. But we really hope that this will be an ultimate lifesaver out here for us. Also, I had a question emailed in ahead of time from a Robson resident who's watching us online. She wanted to know about the flashing lights to tell you there's a signal light coming. Tina, would you come? This is our engineer, Tina Massey. Come up and talk to us about those signs if you don't mind, because we're putting more up. We're trying to alert people as much as possible, short of having a railroad arm come down.
Yeah, they have the signal. They got the signal. There is the signal ahead signs, and I believe the one that's coming eastbound, I noticed that you said it was out, and I noticed coming in today. I'm going to get a hold of the City of Denton tomorrow and talk to him to see if they can get that fixed. We have a sign we're going to put up going westbound because you kind of come up on a hill and you can't really see the signal up front. So we're going to put an extra sign there also. So.
In the process of getting this traffic signal, I've had a lot of input from you all out here, and everything that you suggested, I ran past John and Commissioner's Court, and at one point, somebody suggested we had a four-way stop. That did not go over well, and I think you all would understand why. But please know we're open to your suggestions. We're glad to hear them. We'll vet them. We'll see what we can make happen. So, you all were told about the shops across the street. Craig Wilkinson, who's the developer over there, could not be here tonight, but he gave me a list of what's coming. Are you all interested? Yes. Okay. Well, you know what we've already got, some good stuff over there, but we've got more coming, and this is going to be on the west side, some of them on the east, but I think mostly on the west. They've got a daycare coming. They're going to have a butcher shop. They're going to have a smile studio, martial arts, a golf/spa, They're going to have the great sports bar, and we've already got donuts, as you know, and there's going to be a physical therapy, Soho salon, and we've got the Grapevine golf carts. But on top of that, we're going to have 2 new eating spots. One is going to be a Marco's Pizza. The other is an Indian eating spot. So that's what's coming, and I'm sure you all will be careful in crossing the road to get over there to enjoy these things. So, and I really applaud the developer for trying. I wanted him to get a Brahms. He couldn't get a Brahms. I thought that would be perfect, but it is what it is. So anyway, and I guess you know, it is no longer Cleveland Gibbs Road. I've been told that it is now Gibbs. So I don't know why, but it is what it is. And that was a very interesting project. We did move that through in record time. It was really, really important to get that done as soon as possible, and I think we succeeded on that. So back to our main sponsor, Mr. Foster.
So, y'all have already heard about that one. Keep going. That was what Diane was talking about, the signal, and we're going to add turning movements in that area. Okay, so if you ever have to go to Razor Ranch, just don't do it. Yeah. Stay down here. That's all I got, really. It's still going to be working until 2030. So I call it the Denton Big Dig. So if you actually accidentally find yourself north of the merge, going northbound, you see that big hole in the ground, that's where the braided ramp's going to be. So that hole is the exit ramp where you'll get off to get to 380, and those columns they're building are for the frontage road on-ramp to get onto the freeway. So instead of having road rage and fighting each other and using universal hand language, you'll be separated physically and you won't even see each other eventually. Okay, so this is 380. This is 35 north of 77, which is just north of that merge job. We are progressing in order, but in TxDOT style. So there's the yellow section was to go first, but it was 700 and something million bucks. And when they let the merge at 440, it came in at 550, 100 million over, and we got 2 bidders. What they found is there are a whole lot more bidders that can build 200 million or less jobs than there are $500 million job projects. So they asked us to come back and break up the yellow project into 3 projects. So that delayed our ability to move on that northern part because we're breaking it into 3 smaller design sets. So then the next one is the 076. 076 is actually being built with the 455 project from 2450 out in the west over to the Sanger High School on the east of 35. So they're building that interchange with that 455 job. So the next job they're going to do is the 081. I don't know what color that is. I think it's gray. And then we're probably going to take the 85 or 86 million dollars off of the northern part because we don't care if you get to your WinStar place fast or not. We're going to put it back onto the merged part, down on the frontage road project to help you here in this part of 35W. So go to the next one. 081 was let in August for 128 million bucks, and they're going to start in February. They had a delayed start because of utilities. So we didn't do the yellow because we're cutting it up into smaller pieces. The 076 is already under construction, so the next project to let is 081, and then we're going to steal the money from 084 and 116 to take it and put it on 35W. You've heard, we just told this the other day. My wife's here, so I really am married. I started this project when I was single and not married, and I've got 32, huh? Oh, and skinny. I told you she's mean. So I've been working on this thing for 32 years, and we've fought all comers, and we're designing it, and then TxDOT put us on hold for the right-of-way acquisition. We're going to build a northbound frontage road. This is a freeway section, so there'll be grade separations, frontage roads, and main lanes. And we're going to build a northbound frontage road first, so all the development coming out of Denton can tie into the existing northbound frontage road where it needs to be. And it has a September 2030 ready to let, only because they paused our right-of-way acquisition. If you ever want to do something really cool, go on to Denton County's website, do their landmark, you go to GIS, Denton County GIS, go to their landmark map, and then come to this area and then turn on the oil and gas. This whole quadrant turns black with all of the oil wells, gas wells, and transmission lines. So we had to thread this project through various asunder gas wells, and we've been protecting this corridor for 25 years. Eventually, we're going to get it built. It'll probably be in the next 5 to 10 years, at least the northbound frontage road. And that, just that one part of it is, you know, $250 million. Oh, I'm done.
Well, you know, it didn't go as long as I thought it would because we had 49 slides, but you all got through them great. Are there any questions?
I think he skipped over about 2 or 3 slides.
Did you skip over some slides, John?
See, that's just like a woman. I wasn't even in control of the thing, so I didn't skip over anything.
Where did you think he skipped over?
Those slides were before he started talking about 35 north out of Denton. They were your slides, David.
Hey, go back and somebody tell me.
Yes. Hey, go ahead. All right. Why on 35W are there no frontage roads between Denton and basically 114 at the racetrack?
So 35W was built, I think, in the 60s. And if you'll notice, when you drive it, I want y'all to do this because it's eye-opening. Drive 35W and look to either side of you and see how much of 35W is built on fill. Most of that area is in the floodplain. And so they just piled some dirt up and put the main lanes through because there was not going to be development because it was all floodplain. You would get murdered and put in jail, in prison for 35 years if you built another road like that. So everything we're doing now has to be on structure through all those floodplains. That's why it's an extremely expensive project. So the frontage roads weren't built because there was no development at the time in the 60s. And now when we're coming back to do it, it's incredibly expensive because everything has to be on structure because the Corps of Engineers, the EPA, they won't let you just come in and fill floodplain. Is that you don't look happy about that?
Follow-up question. Why can't you get the developers who are building all these houses and all these stores and everything else to contribute money to the traffic infrastructure?
Amen.
They do. We do require that. The only thing is that we, we're dealing with people who are in the whole are going to build commercial or residential developments. And we do have restrictions that we can put on them. The legislature has made sure that we have almost no zoning authority or anything to tell what kind of house, what kind of road, but we do work with our developers as they're coming in, and we expect them to create the roads that will lead to their development. Frankly, that makes that development more impressive for future buyers. So it's a perfect question, and yeah, we try to make that happen.
So we met with the highway commissioner that's going to probably be appointed to be the chair of the highway commission. And it was a frustrating meeting, and I'll tell you, we said it generally to him, but that $650 million, he was saying, hey, we were going to build the freeway in your county, which is going to be $650 million, but we're not going to help you unless you can come up with $200 million of your own money. Now, the interstate is an interstate highway. It's the state and the federal government's responsibility. There's called the NHHS in Houston and North Houston, something, pain in the butt, big job. Harris County's not putting any money into it. The CapEx in Austin, Travis County, huge $9 billion project. They're building that. Travis County's not putting any money into that project. But we tell them we need frontage roads, and they say, well, you got to come up with a third of the money. And he said, tax your county residents, because apparently there's an ability to tax unincorporated citizens. And basically the judge and the commissioner told him to go pound sand. We'll figure it out. So we're going to build it a little bits at a time. but it's really not our responsibility to build an interstate highway for an interstate that the own state of Texas has said is important, but they call it the Rio to the Red. They want 6 lanes on 35 to the Rio to the Red, and they're coming asking us to cover a third of the cost. I mean, it's offensive, but they want us to tax you to do it.
And we're not willing to do that. We have the lowest tax rate in this county that we've had in 40 years, and we don't want to erase it. Yes, sir.
Is there any thought to reducing or at least enforcing the speed limit on Robson Ranch Road?
Well, I am told that if we reduce it, all it's going to do is result in more tickets. But it's something that has to be safe for cars. It's not meant for golf carts, if that's why you're wondering.
It's 60 miles an hour. Yeah, so what happens is I hate lawyers. I'm sorry if y'all aren't. Are y'all lawyers in here?
Not everybody.
But the state and the MUTCD, Manual for Uniform Traffic Control Devices, they have what's called a speed study you have to do, where you go out and you got to hide in the bushes so they don't know you're tracking them. You got to do so many cars in so much time, and then they take the 85th percentile because they figure the 15% above that are driving bat-is crazy. So get rid of them. And then whatever that is, they can set it within 7 miles plus or minus to the nearest 0 or 5. And they can lower it if they have an engineering study that says there's a sight distance problem or whatever. More times than not, when you do a traffic study, the speed study that says that you should be setting the speed limit higher. Mm-hmm. So when I tell the county, if you're going to do a traffic study, hire an attorney, ask the attorney to do the traffic study, have the traffic study sent to the attorney, and then have the attorney confidentially tell you whether it went up or down. And if it goes up, don't accept it, because then it's attorney-client privilege and you don't have to tell anybody.
We actually had an example of that over in Ponder on 2449, going into Ponder. And the mayor and the city council there wanted the speed limit lowered because it was coming into the town, there were little kids playing around there. And when the traffic study was done, TxDOT said, no, if anything, the speed limit needs to be raised here. So, John, you're exactly right. Yes, sir.
Yes, I live behind the ballpark. Taking a left is hard. You get on Robson Ranch. The light has helped a lot, breaks it up. With some future plan, is there another light? HEB's coming in?
Yes, there will be another light where HEB is. There will also be, as I understand, another light right there at Crawford Road, because a lot of us use that to either go north or south, and we need to be able to get through there safely. So yes.
There'll be a light at Landmark and then the HEB Drive. Then we're going to be building turn lanes so that the people that want to come from Robson Ranch to go to HEB to turn left, they won't stop all the traffic trying to get to the freeway. There'll be their own left turn lane. And then we're going to have right turn lanes so you can get south. So we're going to separate all the movements with that breakout. But there'll be the Gibbs signal, Landmark signal, and then the HEB signal, and then the signals at 35. And we're already getting pushback from TxDOT because that HEB signal is really close to the interstate, and they don't like them that close.
So what's the plan for the overpass? I mean, that's a huge project.
Yeah.
The overpass there at 35 in Crawford?
It's in that 35W job I was just showing. I mean, I'm not doing a very good job presenting, I guess. It's part of that one.
And it's very expensive, and it's not on the upcoming.
It's the part of the $213 million job.
John does what he calls faith-based
engineering,
and he's a very good Christian man, but that's not what he's talking about. What he says for his faith, tell us about your faith-based engineering, John.
You get the projects ready, and then when the project's ready, somebody screws up somewhere else, and they pick our project, and we go build it.
That has happened several times.
Yeah.
No, I promise this lady over here, I'll get to you next. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, a couple of questions. When is the HEB expected to be ready? And you said there's going to be a traffic light there as well, and expanded roads. Are we looking at 2 or 3 years? And also, when is Hunter Ranch going to
Okay, so the signal we're talking about, the city of Denton's already ready to install them. We have the plan set, and we are making some adjustments, and then we're going to turn them loose. So it'll be before, I think we're talking 4 months to do it. So we're talking
That's the
January,
light.
February, you should have signals at HEB and at Landmark.
But HEB will not be in at that time. We have no control over that. I did read an article in the Dallas Observer the other day that indicated a 2 to 3 year timeline before that's ready to go. I don't know if that's accurate or not, ma'am. For all the what? Oh, yeah. Well, they're starting.
So we just, so
Get you.
because we're working on the 35W frontage roads, we're trying to get ahead of the development. And there's the Cole Ranch and the Hunter Ranch, right? The Hunter Ranch is the Hillwood. Hillwood wants all red and John Day, but Cole wants 2449. And so we're gonna work out the logistics, but $85 million doesn't go as far as it used to. And so we're gonna have to figure out some trade-offs. But as far as when the development goes, we're hearing it's imminent, but that's all we know.
Yeah. That's, yes, we will have a signal there.
Are you saying it for the Hunter Cole? Or,
No,
yeah,
for
that's
the,
gonna be,
for the HEB.
No, she said Hunter Cole, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if we get all red, it takes care of it. If we get 2449, it takes care of it. That's a full-on interchange. But right now, it's a Sophie's choice, and we're trying to get more money so that we don't have to tell which kid's got to go to bed because we can't afford to feed them, right?
Okay, yes, sir, and then I'm going to get to this lady in the back who's been patient.
So with all the lights that you're planning on Roadway, have you thought or consideration given to synchronizing them? So
That's a unique idea. Yeah, once we get all those, we can certainly do that.
The
And
city of Denton, I know this is, not popular, but they're very good at doing signal timing. They're one of the best. And they not only do their signals, but they do signals for surrounding communities, because once you get to be 50,000 or more, the state requires you to maintain your own signals. So those communities that are less than that, the state contracts with an entity that knows what they're doing, like Denton, so they will synchronize. Now, an old buddy of mine, Buzz Elsom, TxDOT area engineer, he says you're never going to get more than 60 seconds out of a minute. So,
wow. Or 10 cents out of a dime. So, wait, okay. This lady was first, and then you'll be next, ma'am. I'm going to ask our area engineer, our department engineer, to speak to that. She's asking about mowing weeds, Tina.
no, she's asking about mowing at Gibbs and Robson Ranch, not a state road, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be city and county, so.
It's county, but that's, Tina does that. So,
Said that she does it 2 times a year, whether it needs it or not.
that is not what she said.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're welcome to call the office if you're having issues. You're welcome to call the office if you're having issues with a sight distance and everything. We do try to we have to mow all the county roads in the unincorporated areas. So usually it gets about a couple times a year. But if it is an issue, call us.
And I will tell you, Tina is very good to respond. If I call her and say, I've had a call about this or that, she is right on it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my question is about Yarborough. What is the story with it? What's the history of Yarborough? We live in Silver Rock, been there 3 years, it's the raceway. There used to be a sign that said too fast, too fast, too fast, that's gone. There's 2 signs on either side that said no trucks. I can sit in my patio if I dare. Stuff's flying out of trucks, there's no police. We've been to Northlake, they don't control it. We've been to the sheriff, we've been to Denton County. Who, what, and
We do have signs out that there are to be no big trucks on Yarborough. It's like a red light. Some people don't read. I understand.
So who do we get to maintain that road? When I call the sheriff, he swears to me there's no speeding. I have tapes of it, I have pictures of it. I try to get all my neighbors to come tonight, but unfortunately they're working. But anyway, something has to be done before something is done, seriously sad.
We have the sheriff on it. We also have spoken to our constable, Danny Fletcher. Periodically, when he's got time and personnel, he has his a car over there.
I know there's other people that are trying, but it's really a danger. It's to the point where we want to move because
I understand. I get it.
We can't
I-
solve it tonight, but Tina says that she'll look into it and see if there's something else we can do that we haven't already tried.
Okay.
But
And that's the other thing with Roadway Road. I work in Southlake, up and down 115 and 35. If you reduce the speed on Roadway Ranch to 35, people will use the 50 that's at right now. So it's a little limiting. You've had so many accidents at that front gate. A lot of people are hurt, and you have one of the workers at Roadway Ranch die there.
But not there. It was further up. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I understand. Let me just say again, red means stop. I don't care how fast you're going, red means stop. So I don't think there's much more we can do to that. Call the sheriff again. We'll call the constable again on Yarborough. I think we're doing everything that we legally can. Did I see another question? Yes, sir.
Confused with the answers that you're giving on 35. Let me ask you a very simple question, since that's the reason I came here. When will 35 be extended from the airport to Denton, the big wide one with the toll roads down the middle, redo the access roads, redo the bridges to solve all of our problems out here? When will that be done?
I believe that's a pollster question.
excellent question. You want it to look like what's in Tarrant County, correct? With the toll managed lanes? Yeah, so do I. The problem is that the current administration of governor, lieutenant governor, and the yokels in the Senate and the House don't believe in toll managed lanes. They work, you see them, you want them, but we can't build them because we're in a non-toll environment, and they don't know that a managed lane isn't a toll road because you have a free option right next to it. So what we're doing is we've cleared 35W from Del Earnhardt all the way to Denton as a 4-lane rural freeway, which just happens to have the same footprint as a urban 3223 toll managed lane. And the frontage roads are in the same place in both projects. So we are waiting for certain people to move on, whether they get a new job or they pass on from this world, right? Because we're an immortal being and we're going to wait them out because we're not willing to sell your future because these people don't understand progress. So we are building the frontage roads in the places they're supposed to be with the grade separations, how they're supposed to be, that will accommodate a 3-2-2-3, 3 general purpose lanes in each direction, 2 toll managed lanes in each direction, and then 3-2-2 frontage roads. So we're building the frontage roads in the grade separations now. We don't want the main lanes because if we build them now, we got to build just regular GPs.
When will the overpasses be fixed?
Okay, so, okay, we got it. It's a money thing. So right now we've got 407 and Robson Ranch and just a little bit north of there where we've got a $213 million job to build all the frontage roads and the grade separations in their ultimate configuration. So there'll be 6 lanes underneath for Robson Ranch, 6 lanes underneath for 407. And that's that project, that $213 million that's going to be ready in like November of 2027. It's what we covered. Okay, that's one of the things we covered. We're now working with the Commissioner Alvis to do the stuff from Del Earnhardt all the way up to 407, 1171, Denton Creek, Cleveland Gibbs. And that's the one where they're saying it's going to be $650 million in Denton County. You got to tax that man right there $200 million to partner. And so we're saying we're going to figure something else out. We're going to work something out. So we're working it. We just don't have an answer yet. But it's not the county's responsibility to build an interstate highway for interstate commerce between Mexico and Canada. We're just saying we're going to do our part to make it come faster because we need it now.
You're the person that's working with all this.
Yes, sir.
When might we expect to see
you and I will probably be dead. Oh, 407?
No, Crawford Road.
That's it. That's in the 213 million.
To rebuild that overpass?
Yes, it'll be 6 lanes. It'll be a full-on, and we can send you the schematic. It's already been approved. It's environmentally cleared. I can't find my sheet.
You didn't say that.
What did you say?
You said you're gonna put extra turn lane.
No. That's a breakout. There's the job, the breakout, the micro breakout, then the Justin breakout. You're talking, the job, the 35W frontage road from 407 to 2449 fully builds 407, fully builds Robson Ranch, Crawford, and then does some work to the north and has frontage roads in that whole area. That's the one that's going to come in a year and a half. We didn't want to wait, so we did the 407 breakout, which is at 2 miles from Gateway to Cleveland Gibbs, 6 lanes, and we're going to put 5 lanes under the bridge. That's 40 million. We didn't want to wait for that, so now we're doing the little micro job, which is 1.6 million, which we're going to put the 5 lanes under the bridge and then those turn lanes while we're waiting on the breakout, while we're waiting on the big job. We can't do any more than what we're doing. And it's all either being paid for by the county or funding that we got by partnering with the state to get these dollars to those projects.
Okay, we had a gentleman in the back who had his hand up. Oh, there you are, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I wonder if it would make our main intersection a little bit safer. The signs that show you that the center lanes are a left turn lane, right lane is a straight through, are right at the light. Can we put those signs several hundred yards back up the road?
Are you talking about here at the main gate?
I know what he's talking about.
Okay.
And I agree with that.
Okay.
So we'll look at that. We have to follow certain guidelines, but you're right. They need to be further back because I'm a gambler, right? I always end up in the wrong damn lane. Darn lane. I think we're gonna look at that because this is not a state road. We just got to follow certain guidelines. But you're right. You need to know sooner.
Thank you for bringing that up, and we are going to be looking at that. I saw some other hands over here. Yes, ma'am? You want to talk about the feds, don't you?
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
Okay.
Lot on Highway 377, and what is that, Vantage Road, or what is that?
That's Vantage and 377. It is not our road.
I know there's an issue with the railroad
And with the city of Denton.
in the city, so my suggestion is, can you just escalate it all the way up to Sean Duffy, because Department of Transportation, because that's a federal highway.
Okay. I'm going to give you the answer. You're not going to like it, all right? And you're going to yell at me, so I'm just getting ready for it emotionally. It's called preemption. So the signal's there, but the railroad was here before there was a state, before there was a DOT. And so they control that timeline. And so, for example, the signal at 377 and Canyon Falls, the signal itself cost us $85,000. The preemption that Union Pacific made us put in cost $500,000, and it took them a freaking year to work it because they do all the work. So we're at the mercy of, you know, if you have to go into the railroad property, they require a visa, right? You can only stay so long, and so we're
That's
working
a bit
it.
of a joke.
We're working it,
Yeah.
but that preemption, it's just stuff we got to do that it makes your brain numb.
I have tried working with the railroad, both UP and BNSF, and as a general rule, their answer to me is, we were here first. So, and they were right, they were, so.
What'd you say? What?
She thinks the Department of Transportation
No, that's the
regulates it.
Railroad Administration. Oh, that's the federal FRA, Federal. They may be a subset, but the train guys have like a whole new universe of things they get to do that the feds can't tell them what to do. Neither can the state.
And ma'am, if you'll get it started, I will be the first to sign it that we can send to whoever you think we should. I'm willing to bring in the feds, Lefty and Poncho, or whoever we need to bring in to try to make that happen. I agree with you. I use that road often. Yes, sir. I saw a hand over here. Do you remember what John said just a few minutes ago?
I know you talked about that, but
Tina, go ahead.
studies usually end up in a faster speed limit. I think this, I've lived here 2.5 years, and the amount of traffic and construction and new homes that have increased the volume of traffic out here have made it much more a different scenario than it was when they maybe
Okay.
50 mile an hour. So
Yeah, we can do a study.
well, those studies always come out faster. I'm not gonna buy that unless somebody actually does the work to say that, that's what we have.
Go for it.
Dangerous out here. You think the frequency of accidents that have happened here just the last, I don't know, 2 months?
Okay.
No, we can do a study. We can definitely do that. Now, I'm not gonna say if it's gonna be faster or not, just like John was explaining, it's the 85 percentile. So, you know, it is what it is, but we can definitely do the study.
And then we'll let you know, okay? Thank you.
We'll do it. It doesn't
Yeah.
cost that much.
And I'll look, I've got some of those, speed ahead signs. I'll get those out there too. And it's, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. You know, it says, you know, you're going this speed, so
Yeah.
we can try
I
that
like
too.
those. Okay, yes, sir?
Back to the sign issue, the gentleman or woman, I don't know who it was, said they're absolutely correct. The cost would be the ones that come down Gibbs Road and intersecting Robson, because they have one sign saying you gotta get over to the left. The left-hand lane is a left turn.
Yes.
So we're gonna not
Merrill,
only
maybe
work-
you can put another sign up there. I understand. I actually made that mistake yesterday. Okay, he's asking about when you're coming across from Harvest, et cetera, in Northlake, there's only one sign saying that you've got to have to turn right if you're in that particular lane. Or turn left, yeah. So can we have maybe another sign, a bigger sign? Okay. The-
That's 407, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an equal, it is not a,
That's
didn't
what
hook
we're,
up
we're gonna
quite straight.
restripe that. That's the thing that we're fixing to do, where we're gonna like make it, we just got the signal out there to get the signal up quick to make people stop. Now we're gonna come back and put the turning movements where they need to be. City said they're gonna start within the next couple of weeks.
have you all noticed there are lots of places in Precinct 4 where restriping has been done recently? Tina, I appreciate it. I see a lot of clear white lines on the edge of the pavement and double yellow lines that you're not supposed to cross. So we have a contractor who does that, right? And the contractor does what we tell him to do. So Tina will get all over that. We'll get the striping thing handled. Yes, sir.
Is it, understanding it right, that the north side of Robson Road is Denton, the south side is Northlake, but the two cities themselves can't set the speed limit? That's not.
They have to set a speed limit based on the MUTCD, and there are guidelines you have to follow. I mean, I didn't set them up. I don't agree with them. I don't ever follow the speed limit anyway. I'm one of those guys you're mad at. So, but there is a study that they have to do.
And real honestly, you couldn't very well have one speed limit on the Northlake side and another speed limit on the Denton side. I mean,
Well-
that wouldn't work.
One thing is, you have to realize that the Northlake comes up to the right-of-way, and the city of Denton comes up to the right-of-way. Robson Road, that is actually a unincorporated county road. So that's not inside their city limits, so they can't make it has to go through Commissioner's Court.
That trickery. That trickery.
Wow. Thank you, Tina. Do we have any other questions? Oh, wait a minute. I know you. Let's wait. Let me get this guy back here, Lisa. Sorry. You always have really tough questions. Yes, sir. What is your question?
Did I read somewhere that on the south side of where the HEB is, that there was going to be some kind of a hospital or nursing facility?
Mike, that's Argyle. So let's see what the town manager can tell you about that, and Lisa will get to you.
I think the commissioner and John deserve a round of applause for just answering questions. Is that fair? All right. Next, John needs a stiff drink after the meeting, so he'll be at a local bar. You can join him if you like. Okay, so yes, there's going to be a hospital over there. That's that heritage development that I mentioned real quick. There's 123 acres over there. There's a hospital that will make an announcement fairly soon on 23 of those 123 acres. So we can't wait for it. We're excited about it, but it's just a little bit further south. They're not strictly on Robson. They got to drive like a little quarter mile down the way there, because we'll have some retail in front of them. But yes, that project's alive, kicking. It'll come soon.
Thank you, Mike.
And when we did the HEB landmark turning lanes and all the stuff, we went and met with Argyle to make sure we knew what they were doing on the south side, so that it matched with what was going to go on the north side, so that you didn't have these offsetting drives. So it all works. We made it all work together, and so all the improvements we're doing now for the HEB will also work for whatever's going to go into that Argyle segment.
Y'all, it sounds so easy to say, well, we just need to have a little road here for HEB or whatever. It is never easy. There's always more pieces to the puzzle than the box says. So we are trying to do that as much as we can. Lisa.
Okay, I do have a hard question for you.
I know you do.
Yes.
Come on.
So, a couple weeks ago at the P&Z for the city of Denton, Robson is, we have their final plat approval for on the west side. And there is a section, it's Robson Crossing Road, and it's going to eventually empty onto Florence. But Robson, the developer, is not putting in the connection. I don't know how many feet it is, but they're ending it before it goes to Florence. I've gotten some phone calls from a couple of individuals concerned that if there was some sort of an emergency that we had to evacuate Robson, we're in between the two railroad lines, if there was, a chemical spill or whatever, you're putting 3,200 homes on 3 gates onto the same road. So is there anything in your power, I don't know, I doubt TxDOT has power, but to put on Robson Development to get that western access onto Florence done, and even potentially extend Robson Ranch Boulevard up to the north to Lively, where that could take residents out to 2449 to avoid all of Robson Road?
Actually, Lisa, I have been working on that with Robson, and the answer is no. They are not willing to do that, and they own that land and that intersection. Now, if y'all want to call them, I encourage you. Call Arizona or call your HOA members. And it makes perfect sense to me, and it has for about a year, that we need that entrance or an exit so all those heavy trucks don't come down through the housing addition, especially on Crestview Lane. But anyway, yeah, we're asking.
Can we have a meeting with like you and like the mayor and Councilman Holland and some residents like myself to like
I don't think Denton has anything to do with it. It's the development.
But maybe, I know that they get the city has to approve all of these different phases and all of that. And so
I understand. And I will tell you that the developer is kind of afraid of going back to Denton for any additional improvements because, and it's true, they don't know, they could change everything. And so they don't want to take that chance. But
we can
set up a meeting, we'll meet.
We have a good relationship with the city of Denton. We'll run this up the flagpole. My employer, y'all know her as my wife, we'll work to get something set up on that and just see what we can do. But
sure.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of authority over developers, and that's by law. The legislature won't give the county that control.
Yep. Thank you. Yes, sir? I've heard that there is one going in just west of here. So, okay, good deal. Oh, yes, sir.
encourage a reduction in speed on its own?
It's called platooning, but yes, that's exactly what will happen.
Especially if you, or if you recognize that red means stop. Okay, I think I was,
Hired, buddy. You're hired.
do we, yes, sir, at the back?
Specific examples of how developers have helped with the infrastructure, especially the roads. I know Justin, I know you commented.
Yeah.
All the tax money that you bring in. What have you done?
So, Parish Lane, this isn't really help, so these aren't very good examples. No is the short answer. But, so like Parish Lane in Roanoke connected Westlake to Roanoke in an area where, because of what we were doing on 377 and 114, they needed that road. So the county paid for the road. We gave the money to Westlake, and then Westlake hired Hillwood, and Hillwood built the road. In Little Elm, Hillwood was going to do this giant development in an unincorporated area, and we talked them into going into the city limits of Little Elm and be annexed voluntarily because we don't like all these districts coming up. But in return, we had to build Union Park Boulevard for them for about $2 million. So partnering is kind of a loose term, but like actual money, no.
Justin Mayer, James Clark.
So we're asked the same question quite often. Whenever residential developers, commercial developers come in, the cities have individual impact fees for each of the developers, and there are certain laws that dictate what they can fund and what they can't. The city of Justin has an impact fee for roads, sewage, water type thing. So the roads can fund new roads, but every impact fee raises the cost of the homes as well. And so ultimately, the developer's not paying for it, you're paying for it. But the roads have to be directly used for said development. So the impact fees for the roads affect there. So I can't have an impact fee in Justin in say, I don't know, one of our new areas like Tree Line and put a road in on 1171. We have to use it within the development. That's just one of the rules. So,
Thank you. Y'all have been so good, and you've stayed a long time. I really appreciate that. And may I just add, I love being your commissioner. I hope you'll send me back for another 4 years. Thanks for coming tonight. And if you didn't get some baseball cards and you want some, let me know. We'll get them for you. Y'all be safe going home.